On a quiet autumn evening, the kind where the wind carries a soft whisper through the trees, a young woman sat alone on a weathered park bench, her trembling hands clutching an envelope that bore no address. The night was calm yet heavy with memories. Golden leaves swirled gently across the pavement, illuminated by a single street lamp that cast a halo of light over her. She sat still, lost in thought, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. In her lap lay a letter written not to the living, but to someone who existed now only in her heart. "Dear Mama," she whispered softly, as though her voice might somehow travel to the heavens above. It had been 5 years since her mother passed away, yet grief still clung to her like a shadow, refusing to let go. Time, as people often said, was supposed to heal, but for her, time had only deepened the hollow ache in her chest. She came to this park often because it had been their special place, a sanctuary of laughter, warmth, and whispered dreams. The bench she sat on was the same one where her mother used to read her stories when she was little, her soft voice weaving magic into every word. Tonight, she brought the letter with her because she felt a desperate need to speak to her mother, to pour her heart out as she had so many times before in her dreams. She had written countless letters over the years, folding each one carefully and tucking it away in a small wooden box beneath her bed. But this one felt different. Tonight, she needed to feel closer to her mother than ever before. As she held the letter, her mind drifted back to the warmth of her childhood. She saw herself at 5 years old, running barefoot through the park, laughing as her mother chased her playfully. She remembered the soft hum of her mother's lullabies as they swayed together on their porch swing, the scent of freshly baked bread filling their home, and the way her mother's arms always felt like the safest place in the world. Her mother was more than a parent, she was her best friend, her guide, and the heart of their little family. But those memories were always followed by the shadow of illness. She recalled the first signs of her mother's sickness, a slight fatigue, a persistent cough. At first, the doctors said it was nothing serious, but as months passed, the truth became undeniable. She watched as her mother's strength waned, as hospital visits became their new routine, and as her once vibrant eyes grew tired but never lost their warmth. Through it all, her mother never stopped smiling. Even on the hardest days, she would hold her daughter's hand and say, "Be brave for me, my love." The night her mother left this world was etched permanently in her memory. She remembered sitting by her hospital bed, clutching her fragile hand, whispering through tears, "Please don't leave me, Mama. I still need you." Her mother's weak but loving smile was the last thing she saw before those soft eyes closed forever. The silence that followed was unbearable. It felt as if the world had stopped turning, as though a piece of her soul had been ripped away. In the months and years that followed, she became a shadow of herself. Grief consumed her, pulling her into a darkness that seemed impossible to escape. She isolated herself, drifting away from friends, struggling in school, and barely speaking to her father, who was also drowning in his sorrow. They lived under the same roof but felt like strangers, both broken in their own ways, unable to comfort one another. Her only solace came in the form of writing letters to her mother. At first, they were filled with anger and confusion. "Why did you leave me? Why couldn't you fight harder?" She would scribble late at night, tears staining the paper. Over time, those letters softened, becoming confessions of love and longing. She would write about her days, her struggles, the things she wished she could tell her mother face to face. Each letter felt like a thread connecting her to the woman who had shaped her entire world. Writing became her therapy, her lifeline. Still, the emptiness never fully left her. That was, until one evening, fate intervened. She was sitting in the park, just like tonight, with a stack of letters beside her when an elderly woman approached. "Do you come here often?" the woman asked kindly, her voice gentle and warm. Startled, she looked up to see a stranger with kind eyes and a soft smile. She nodded, too shy to speak at first. The woman sat down beside her and said, "I used to come here with my husband. He passed away 2 years ago. This place makes me feel close to him." There was something about the woman's voice that soothed her. Before she knew it, she was sharing her own story, about her mother, her grief, and the letters she wrote. The woman listened intently, nodding with understanding. When she finished, the woman placed a comforting hand on hers and said, "When we lose someone we love, they never truly leave us. They live in our memories, our laughter, and even in our tears. Your mother is still with you, watching over you, proud of every letter you write." Those words struck her deeply, igniting something inside her heart. Tears spilled down her cheeks as she whispered, "I miss her so much. The woman smiled softly and squeezed her hand. She misses you too, dear. But she wants you to live, to find joy again. The best way to honor her is to live a life she would be proud of. That night, she went home with a glimmer of hope for the first time in years. Slowly, she began to heal. She returned to school, started making new friends, and even rekindled her relationship with her father, who was also learning to navigate his grief. Together, they started sharing stories about her mother, laughing and crying over old memories. As months turned into years, she grew stronger. She found purpose in helping others who were going through similar pain. She started volunteering at a hospital, reading stories to children fighting illnesses, hoping to bring them the same comfort her mother once gave her. Every week, she still wrote letters to her mother, but now they were filled with hope and gratitude instead of anger and sorrow. She would write about her achievements, the sunsets she admired, the recipes she tried, and the lessons she learned. She imagined her mother reading each one, smiling down at her, proud of the woman she was becoming. One evening, years later, she returned to the same park bench, now a young woman with a bright future ahead of her. She held a letter in her hands, but this time she wasn't crying. She was smiling. "Dear Mama," she wrote, "I'm happy now. I've found peace. I hope you're proud of me." As if in response, a soft breeze brushed against her cheek, carrying with it the faint scent of her mother's favorite perfume. She looked up at the sky, tears of joy in her eyes, and whispered, "I love you, Mama." That moment marked the true beginning of her healing journey. She went on to become a grief counselor, dedicating her life to helping others navigate loss. The letters she wrote over the years were eventually published in a book titled, Letters to Heaven, which resonated with people all over the world. Letters poured in from readers who shared their own stories of loss and healing, thanking her for giving them hope. One day, at a book signing, a young girl approached her with trembling hands and teary eyes. "Your book saved my life," the girl whispered. "I lost my mom last year, and I thought I'd never stop hurting. But your story gave me hope." She hugged the girl tightly, whispering, "You'll always carry her love with you. That love will guide you through everything." That night, as she sat on her balcony, gazing at the stars, she felt her mother's presence more strongly than ever. She no longer felt alone. She knew her mother was proud of her, that she had taken her pain and turned it into something beautiful, a gift to others who were suffering. And so, the girl who once sat on a park bench, broken and lost, became a woman of strength and compassion. The letters she had written became a bridge between the past and the future, a testament to the enduring power of a mother's love. Even in death, her mother's love lived on, guiding her every step of the way. The park bench remained her sanctuary, a place where she could still feel her mother's presence. And every time she sat there, she would smile, close her eyes, and whisper to the heavens, "Thank you for never leaving me."